Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Jason from Jadren Aquatics. Thanks for joining me again. So as you can see, we are in a different location for filming today. We are actually in Jason's backyard. This is where it all happens. Actually, there's very little that happens out here. I don't even go out here very often. There's my dog barking. That happens a lot out here. So I know you're wondering, Jason, why the heck are you outside? What exactly is going on out there? Well, first of all, I live in Texas, and so I see people doing summer tubbing all the time, and I think to myself, there's no possible way to do summer tubbing in Texas because sometimes it hits 100 degrees for like 60 straight days. So I thought, if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna have to make it spring tubbing, because spring is where usually it stays between 70 and 90. So I decided I would take a tub that I previously using to store water in that I no longer need, convert it into a pond, and now I'm kind of running some tests to try to figure out how the temperature moves, what I need to do. So let's go ahead and let's go over and take a look about it, and let's talk a little bit about it. Okay, so here we go. Here is the tub. This is a 150-gallon Rubbermaid tub. Again, this is something I used to use when I did automatic water changes, but I got a bigger tote, so I don't need it anymore. So this was the plan, was to set this thing out here eventually. And so got it completely set up. Right now, I've got two sponge filters that are running there. These were two sponge filters I pulled out of established tanks, so these things are completely seated. Down here, I've got the pump, just a simple air pump. I've obviously got a brick on it to keep the from blowing away. And so it's just the normal Hydor 5 sponges that I always use. So again, I got two of those guys in here. And then I also took the entire top and I filled a ton of duckweed on the top. And I know you're thinking, why in the world are you trying to grow more duckweed? Well, I'm not trying to grow duckweed. I'm trying to provide a surface that can't be seen into for either predators or maybe a hope that as that Texas sun beats down on this thing, that it might keep it from turning the water so hot. So I've had it set up now for about probably 6 or 7 days total, and what I'm beginning to wonder is this thing pretty much keeps the exact temperature of what it is outside. I thought for sure with 150 gallons that it would take a lot to move the temperature on it, but it doesn't seem to take anything whatsoever. It rained the other day. For about a day and a half, it got down to about 62 degrees. The water got down to 62 degrees. The other day the sun came out, it was out for most of the day, it was about 83 degrees. The water was at exactly 83 degrees. So I've got to figure something else out on how to control these temperatures. I do have some guppies in here. I have about 5 or 6 of some pretty hardy strains that I have, just to see how well this goes. And you can see I've got a temperature thing right here. As you can see, it's 74 degrees right now. It's overcast right now. It looks like it's about to rain. So that's about what it feels like. And so a couple of things I thought about doing is I thought about getting some type of maybe even umbrella to put over it, or I thought I might take some PVC and actually build a kind of a stand that kind of goes at an angle that has like a black tarp on it, so that this thing stays in the shade and doesn't get any direct sunlight. I don't really know exactly how that's going to work. I've watched a lot of videos on this, but it seems like almost everybody is up north and they're not dealing with the temperatures that I deal with. They seem to deal with the cold more than the temperatures that I deal with. I know there's one guy here who does some tubbing, but he's got a pretty extensive system set up where he's got them completely covered, and then he's got air blowing across them to create that swamp cooler effect. And I don't have the electricity out here to be able to do that. The reason I say that is for some reason the plugs that are on the outside of the house, on the front and the back, are both tied into the garage, and the ones I have in the garage are almost at capacity with all the fish stuff I have set up out there. I do have a friend coming by sometime who is going to get me another breaker out there, which will finally alleviate that problem, because I got a bunch of tanks that don't have lights on them currently. So the other plan that I thought about doing is I thought about maybe actually building a frame completely around this thing, and build it with wood, and then put like a plastic tarp all around it, and then fill it completely with dirt. That way the entire thing would be completely covered in dirt, and maybe that would help to insulate and help it to stay at a more constant temperature. I don't know if that'll work or not. I would love to hear your guys' opinion. Tell me some of the things that you've done, if you've got any suggestions for me on where to go with this, because again, these temperatures to me are just swinging way too quickly in this thing, and I've got to figure out a better way to control it. Once I get it a little bit more under control, I'm gonna go ahead and put a whole bunch of more guppies in here just to kind of see how they do. But I feel like the time that I have to be able to keep this out here is pretty slim, because I'm assuming once it starts getting into the 90s consistently, I'll never be able to keep this thing at a low enough temperature without some type of cooling effect. All right, so there you guys have it. Appreciate each and every one of you guys. Be sure and leave a comment down below. Tell me what in the world you want me to, what you think I should do with this. Also, I got a bunch of guppy grass in here also on top of the duckweed. I've also got a bunch of some driftwood that I bought that released tremendous amount of tannins, so I went ahead and put those in here also. So again, be sure and leave a comment down below. Love to hear from you guys. So thanks again, guys, and God bless.